Happy to finally get this floor pan on the road. I've been kind of putting it on. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take it back apart to a certain extent. Picking up a U-Haul truck and a car dolly, and picking up a '67 Cougar GT. There it is.
Almost in the cornfield.
Wow, check that thing out. Holy crap, it's like a barn find. So I'm spending a bit of time cleaning up the steering valve. I always forget the name of this thing, but anyway, I was using it on the wire wheel I got mounted on the bench over there. Try not to polish it up too much. I don't want it to be really shiny because it would have never been that way from the factory, but yeah, I think I'm gonna mount it in my vise and use my smaller brushes on it to get in the smaller spots. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. I don't know if these are gonna need replacement or not. If you see those, I know West Coast Cougar has these, the inserts in here. I forget they call them, but there's four. Yeah, there's four over here, and also there's these which may need to be done. I have to do some research on this stuff, but yeah, I'm planning on replacing whatever needs to be done. So I'm working on cleaning up the power steering pump bracket. Aluminum stuff is different than other parts, cast iron, steel, and whatever, because you can't really soak aluminum into greaser. It causes some kind of chemical reaction. At least that's what I've experienced in the past, and it can ruin the finish of aluminum. So I haven't dipped this in anything. I was kind of trying to figure out what to do with it, and I decided I'd use some of this stuff on it. Epoxy mover, paint and epoxy remover, hoping that it might work, and it's looking like it's doing a pretty good job of taking off all the grease and stuff. So where the part number is pretty much the most clean I've gotten it so far. But yeah, it's coming along. It's got to put more time into it, but this thing's pretty dirty. Yeah, it definitely needs to be fully cleaned up. All right, so after a while of screwing around with these tie rod sleeves and clamps, I finally got them clean. They have some really tough like paint coating on them, paint something, I don't know, but I was able to get them pretty clean using a paint stripper, and they're looking pretty good. So I'm thinking going to clear coat the sleeves, and maybe I'll clear coat these also, I don't know yet. But yeah, once I'm done with that, then the tie rods are be ready to go back together. So pretty exciting. I've been working on these for a while. So I finally pulled out these bumper support brackets, at least one of them, out of my tank down here. I've been soaking this thing back and forth into greaser and molasses and trying to get this factory black paint off of this thing, and it just doesn't want to come off. It's really tough paint. And so I finally resorted to using paint thinner, and I'm having this soak here for a minute, and I'm thinking it's gonna work. It's starting to come off when I was putting it on. So I had this power steering bracket here, and it was really dirty, and I didn't want to soak it at anything because it's aluminum, and so I decided I'd use paint stripper on it, and it actually turned out really good after doing a couple rounds of it. This thing was very dirty when I started, and so now I got it bolted on here on my power steering pump for the GT Cougar. Pretty happy with how the setup turned out. First time putting together a power steering pump, doing a rebuild, and it's turned out pretty good, so pretty happy with that. Last night I sprayed just a quick coat in the dark. It turned out pretty good, it looks like. We do a quick sand on it and do it again, but it did turn out pretty good considering. And here's the other one. It's just been sitting on the shelf, bare metal, and I'm gonna spray this now. Picked up a couple more cans of the Krylon Satin Black from Hobby Lobby. Turns out they're $5.99 each there, which is cheaper than Michael's, which was like $8.99. So I got a couple cans of that. Quick update on the floor pan. I went ahead and I cut out right here
There was rust coming through this spot right here. There's a little screw hole right there, and I didn't want to cut too many holes out, so I tried to avoid them. So yeah, that's the little piece I cut out. I've been kind of waiting on that to try to determine what to do. Now it's finally done. I also kind of evened out this line, so it's more of a straight line. And now I'm going to work on cutting the patch. I already have a line drawn here. I don't know if you can see it. I also have a line on the bottom portion down here. And I'm going to cut along that, and we'll see how it turns out. Alrighty guys, I was going back and forth about what I wanted to do about this. About what I want to do about this torque box issue here. Hopefully you can see this. It's pitted relatively deep across the whole torque box. I did a lot of sanding and grinding and wire brushing and stuff on it to try to clean up the metal. But I really didn't want to leave it like this, and I really didn't want to just paint over the rust. So after doing some research, I determined that hit my head on stuff. That there's a what people tend to do is they use a phosphorus acid product, and so I went to Home Depot after doing some research and discovered this stuff for etching and prepping concrete, and also it can be used to prep rusted surfaces to be painted. So it has phosphoric acid, which is what eats the rust. I believe it converts it to iron phosphate, something like that, neutralizes it, and then it preps it, and you can scrape off the remnants and then paint it. So that's the plan for that. I picked up a couple primers. Don't know if I'm going to be using the self-etching because this will already be etching the metal, so I might just use the automotive primer. I plan on brushing it on, so I got a brush, and I got some plastic sheeting to kind of hang up in the car to protect the car better. I'm definitely going to be strapping up in mask and gloves and all that stuff, because this product is pretty dangerous. You don't want to get this stuff on you. You don't want to get it in your eyes or anything, or breathe it. So happy to finally get this floor pan on the road. I've been kind of putting it off, but the reality is that that's kind of what has to be done next. So here's the 7-hour update. It's definitely etching the areas where it's not pitted and rusty. Might throw another coat on right now. I just finished my crappy masking job on this little torque box here, just to prevent paint from going too many places. And I'm going to spray it my self-etching primer. So I've spent the past like 3-4 hours, maybe longer, working on this patch today, trimming, cutting, measuring, all that stuff. And I think it's fitting pretty dang good. Hopefully you can see this. I had to cut that little piece into the patch. The only issue is probably maybe a little bit got cut off too much up here. I think it's pretty good. I came to the realization that I hadn't fully disassembled this main body of the control valve of the power steering. I had left in these two pieces. This clip and washer right here, and there's another seal that was down in that little spot right there. And also had left in these. Those are kind of annoying to get out. There isn't much to grab on the end of these. So I kind of boogered them up. Might have to get new ones, not sure. The main reason I took them out is because these seals right here should be replaced, the O-rings. So now this is fully disassembled. The final thing I have to do is I'm going to take out with a hose fittings screw in these. I'm not sure what you call these in each of the hose inlets. Those have to come out. Supposedly you're supposed to replace those every time you disconnect a power steering hose per the manual. I've had the driver's side and passenger side grill sitting down on the ground over here for quite a while, a couple months at least. I decided I'd finally tackle it and see kind of what I'm working with. I think for now I'm just going to start disassembling it, and I think the goal will be just to clean it. Probably not paint anything as of right now. That's the plan. Here's how it's looking. It came apart pretty quick. These are General Electric bulbs, so I'm thinking someone did these in the past. I could be wrong. Actually, I do notice now a Fomoco, it looks to be a Fomoco stamp in the middle. So maybe these are original bulbs. I don't know. Had to research that. One of these had this one had a wasp nest right there. So here's a black 69 XR7 door panel. I have a guy who lives in Oregon. Here's the pre-cleaned one. You can see how dirty it is. This is very, very dirty. As found in condition. This is supposed to be black, but it is now currently brown. But yeah, I have a guy in Oregon who is building a 69 XR7 Super Carbojet hardtop, and he needs black XR7 interior parts. I dug some stuff out from the attic, and I'm cleaning them up. I have panels down there. Just finding all the black XR7 stuff that I don't need and clean it up. If you're curious about what I'm doing to clean it up, I have this interior cleaner from Griot's Garage. It's for various fabrics and stuff, and vinyl is one of them. I'm just using a coat of this, and then I kind of agitate it around with this little horsehair brush, like detailing brush. And it's working pretty good so far. I did one coat and agitate and then wiped it off, and it looked pretty good, and this is my second coat. We'll see how it turns out. So here is the power steering pump that I thought I was done with. Unfortunately, I didn't realize until a commenter on a more recent video commented that I had installed the pulley backwards. So I don't know how I did that. Guess I was just distracted. You can see the little groove for the belt inside, so I flipped it around. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take it back apart to a certain extent. Here's one of the inner quarter panel trims out of the Cougar GT. It's been untouched. I didn't do anything to it pulling out of the car. I just pulled it out, put it on the shelf, and I'm going to spray it down with some cleaner, do a couple rounds, and we'll see how it turns out. So here's after round 2, spray and then brush to kind of agitate everything. I got a lot of this stuff off along here. There's spots on here that didn't come off initially. This up here cleaned up pretty good. Along here did not clean up that much. So I might need more time to soak. Maybe I need to do it vertically so that it can kind of get in there rather than just run off. But I'm actually surprised how nice this looks after just 10 minutes of cleaning.